I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Hey, what's up? Happy Tuesday morning to everyone, or Monday night for hanging with us. Someone, Napolitano asked, is Franklin going to be coaching the last 2 games for Virginia Tech? No, he won't start. He's not just going to, well, hey, what's up? Here's the playbook, guys. No, he won't start till next year. Like, he doesn't even know the players. He doesn't even know who's on the team. So no, I doubt it. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. But I suppose nothing would surprise me. Yeah, shout out Cowboys. Man, that Cowboys defense. This is a new team.
Can we let the cat out of the bag that I've already tailed you for next week?
I may or may not have jumped on a +4.5 against Philly.
Go Birds!
Dak owns the Eagles, man.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. The fourth quarter of that game was unwatchable football. Like the last 11 minutes, like the game was practically over, but I just left it on. Wow. And if you had the over, thoughts and prayers, man. Oh my God.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Wow. That's a rough one if you had the over. The sequence of events that happened for that to stay under 49.5 or whatever you got it at. Wow. It's tough. We got 10 games to get through. TV Jones could not be with us. He had to fill in on his show. So
my dad actually texted me and asked me if TV Jones, what he wanted me to have him express his thoughts on Southern Utah tonight, who lost by 72. So they are live, though. We're live.
All right,
bounce back game coming.
It's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, the Zags definitely covered, right?
Yeah, I think they covered every alt line available as well. Up to 35.5. I think that's
you called it too when we put that game up. You were like, Trevor picked this game, and I was like, Trevor picked this game. Why? And Toast goes, I bet he's trying to get cute.
Yep.
Trevor was caught trying to get cute. First game on the board is Spoon's team. For those of you that don't know, Spoon's a Vermont fan. So go ahead. What are the Mounties?
The Catamounts.
Well, that was close. You guys laughed. That was
no, it was. I just haven't heard the Mounties. It made me
I have
think
a friend
of
from work that always calls
Rocky
them the
Mountain
Mountain
Police.
Yeah, I mean that's a good guess. I was close. All right, Spoon. What are your thoughts on your team this year?
I think Vermont's got a really solid team heading into this season. Got a bunch of seniors coming back. TJ Hurley, TJ Long, 2 of the best players. TJ Long missed most of last year with injury, but 2 years ago, he was the best player on their team, America East Player of the Year. Returned some good talent. They have a transfer coming in from one of the big power conferences, Seton Hall. Gus Yalden, he played his first game of the season coming off injury versus Northeastern and had a great game, came in, put up 20 points, just looked really good off the bench. Add some size in there. They got a 7-footer. He's 6'9" to play power forward. So it's a really strong team. And today they play a MAC team. And over the last 4 or 5 years, Vermont has played the MAC every single season. They've gone in, they've beaten Miami of Ohio, they've beaten Toledo, Ball State. They've already beat this Buffalo team. I think this number's short. This should be 4.5, 5. Catamounts win.
Toast, you have any thought on the Mounties?
I looked at this game because I just thought it was a little suspicious. I thought that Vermont was a much better team, and regardless if it was on the road or not, I mean, this is going to be their 3rd road game. So, and against, I mean, Northwestern is better than Buffalo. Brown is about the same. The only thing that scares me is that Buffalo's at home and this number is short, and Buffalo can hit threes like no one's business. They're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. So if they were to get hot against a Vermont team that really doesn't guard the 3 well, there could be issues. But I can't bet this game personally. I'm not there. It would only be Vermont for me, but I can't do it.
We're polling Buffalo. I thought everyone would be on Vermont.
I feel like, and I'm not saying this just for our comments, but Buffalo's kind of like one of those popular mid-majors. At least they have been
Really?
the last couple of years.
The football
They're
team
not
was
like,
popular this year too. Everyone loved them this year.
yeah, they're not like that good, but and they're matter of fact, they're kind of bad, but they're just one of those, whether you're fading them or playing against them or whatever, they're just kind of it seems to me like they're a popular team in betting communities.
Someone says Bosnia money line tomorrow is free plus 654. He goes, parlay that and thank me. You will never see me comment again. Just a one and done Bosnia money line and he's out.
What sport is that?
I have no idea.
Yo, I was gonna say, is that soccer, cricket? Like,
I don't know. Bosnia's live tomorrow though. Plus
underwater basket weaving? I don't know.
Plus 654. He says. He goes, I'll never comment again. He just drops a bomb and leaves. It's not time for Izzo yet, right?
It is not. The Avengers assemble again. They ended up losing against Louisville, but they hit our team total. And then I said they would score 100 that Friday night. They scored 99. And now they're going to walk in to Madison Square Garden and absolutely throttle Sparty is what's going to happen. So I got Kentucky at 4.5. I think there might be some 5s out there. I wouldn't let one or two numbers bother you personally. I think if this game is close, then Sparty's probably going to end up winning it, but I don't think it's going to be close. First and foremost, Kentucky's already traveled and had to play a game on the road. I know that game was also in Kentucky. It's Louisville. It's 50-50, but regardless, they've had to take their show on the road. They lost that game, but let's remember that Louisville is a significantly better team than Michigan State. They're not better coached or anything like that, but talent-wise, Louisville is a much better basketball team than Michigan State. A Michigan State team, by the way, that hasn't really looked particularly good in their first 3 home games, and now they're going to be hitting the road for the first time on a neutral as well. My issue is that I think that you can trust Sparty defensively any time of the year. I think Tom Izzo has built that credibility. There's no question about that. They can't score the basketball, and you have to be able to do that to win. So whatever situation that you might look at and say, oh, Sparty's going to be able to lock down Kentucky. I know Trevor's over on his other show spouting about sight lines and stuff. Kentucky is one of the best shooting teams in the country. It's not even really close for me. And they're one of the better free throw shooting teams in the country as well. So I just don't feel like there's any advantage that you can find for Michigan State in this game. And honestly, defensively, Kentucky's been pretty damn good. They haven't been forcing a lot of turnovers. That's kind of a cause for concern, sure. But like I said, their offense makes up for everything. I think they're going to run up and down the floor, and Michigan State's going to really have some problems. You might see some pretty cool dunks from Cohen Carr and stuff like that.
That guy's a monster.
He is. He's awesome. I love watching that kid play basketball.
That's the dunker that they had last year, right?
Yeah.
Carr, yes. Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love watching him play basketball. But again, this isn't me trying to make a case that I think that Michigan State is bad. I just think that they're facing a significant step up in competition. The only other time that they faced any somewhat decent competition was Arkansas. Kentucky is head and shoulders better than them, and that game was at home from Michigan State. So I just felt that 4.5 was a little bit short for the Avengers.
Because I'm looking at Michigan State's roster here. They have Carr back. They have that kid Fierce was there last year too, right? I remember him.
Yep. Jackson Kohler was there as well.
They have anyone that could shoot?
No.
That's the issue. Not a single one of them.
They don't shoot 3-pointers, but like at all. So that it doesn't really matter that they don't have anybody that can shoot. They just go to the basket almost every single possession. Like I bet you they haven't shot more than 15 threes in a game. I haven't looked at the logs right now, but I think this Michigan State team will take care of the ball, make a lot of good choices with it. I don't think they'll get necessarily blown out in this game. Definitely a contrast of styles because Kentucky could easily jack 35 threes in this game. Mm-hmm. I could see them getting out, but I think Michigan State's defense will be definitely a test for Kentucky. They haven't played a really good team outside of Louisville, and that's when they hit the road for the first time. They lost that game, didn't shoot that well. Here, this is a neutral, still a road environment for Kentucky. I think there's going to be a lot of Michigan State fans in that building for the game. I think this is close. I'm not going to be on this game. I think the number's about right.
Yeah, I'm looking at of the main 4-minute getters for Michigan State. The Kohler has attempted 12 threes this year. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You said you lean towards Kentucky,
And he's 3 for 12 for the record.
Yep. All right. What time's this on? 6:30. I might be down to do this.
6:30 your time. Yeah.
From what you guys said, it sounds like an under.
Have you watched a college basketball game yet this year?
Yeah, I watched. I did. I watched Iowa beat up on. I did watch an Iowa game.
Oh, fair.
The fundamental team. Those Hawkeyes.
I don't hate an under there. I don't think you're going to see more than like 70, 73 possessions.
What is wrong with this line here? How is this only 1.5? Detroit Mercy is what?
This is Spoon's game.
Spoon, how is this 1.5?
So I think you get a little bit of a boost if you're Detroit Mercy coming home. They've played 3 road games so far. This will be the D1 home opener. So I guess maybe there's a little bit of boost built into that, but there's no excitement in this building. If you ever watch Detroit Mercy basketball, there's more empty seats than there are people. I think this Eastern Michigan team is a much better team. Have one of the best freshmen in the conference in Hob down low. Have a senior point guard, senior shooting guard, a lot of upperclassmen playing in this team. I think 7 or 8 seniors on this team right now. So I think Eastern Michigan is set up to play well. This will be their second road game. They went on the road, played Pitt pretty tough, fell behind kind of early, and then just never let the lead get too big. They struggled with IU Indy's pace in that last game, so maybe that brings the value down on Eastern Michigan. They've lost 2 games in a row. I think this is a good time to buy low on them. I think they're a much better team than Detroit Mercy. This line should be 3.5 to 5.
Agreed. I don't think Detroit Mercy should be catching below 5 from anyone.
I got a -1, -110 on Caesars. I don't know if it's still sitting there.
I'll check it out. Toast?
In memory of Trevor, Detroit Mercy, huge look ahead spot. They got Michigan
pass
State.
away.
They got Michigan State on deck. Got Michigan State on deck.
In memory of Trevor, he didn't pass away. He's on the other channel. You can get a pick on Caesars right now, according to this.
Yeah. I would agree with Eastern Michigan. I don't really like the fact they had to go to Pitt, then come home and play 79 possessions versus IU Indy. Now they got to go back on the road a couple days later to a Detroit Mercy team, like Spoon said, is finally at home against a D1 team. And I mean, they're going to push this game to as many possessions as possible. I mean, 79, 76, 75, 76 possessions for Detroit Mercy's game. So maybe in the second half, you see some Eastern Michigan tired legs, and that's what the books are banking on. I agree with you. I don't understand why this line is so short, but I don't want anything to do with it personally.
Eastern Michigan, another team that just does not shoot any threes. I don't know what it is with the water up there, but
someone said in the comments, Trevor's dead?
No. My bad. Yo.
No, he's on the other channel. He's fine.
Bad choice of words. I apologize.
Based on what I've heard you guys say about Xavier, they shouldn't be laying 9.5 to anybody. Am I wrong?
No, you're 100% right. I got 10.5, but yeah. This is doesn't make sense to me, guys. Xavier is a very bad basketball team. If you get a little name brand because of Patino and Xavier, sure, but they still maybe should at that point give them -2. I'm kind of being a little bit facetious here, but I actually looked into this game because I truly didn't understand why I was getting 10.5. But Xavier doesn't have give Old Dominion any problems that they haven't already seen so far this year. A couple things that Xavier has going for them, besides the fact that they're bad and should be coached well, is that they're one of the more experienced rosters in the country, and they're one of the biggest rosters in the country. But Old Dominion has played George Washington, who I think is a head and shoulders better team than Xavier, who's 16th in experience, 81 in height. They're 126 in minutes continuity. They played Norfolk State, who's 136 in experience. They're short. And then they played a Miami team in Ohio, who's 69th in experience. They're not very tall, but they're 6th in minutes continuity. So they've played big teams. They've played teams that have played together. They've played experienced teams. So going on the road against a Xavier team that hasn't looked right at all year, can you argue that it's a little bit of a step down in class after facing Santa Clara and Iowa? Yeah, but I mean, they were blown out in those games. At no point were they even in those games at any point. So I don't understand how you could possibly, like I said, it was 10.5 when I bet it. I still don't understand how you can lay 9.5 with teams. There's nothing that they do positive. They don't shoot the ball well. They don't shoot free throws well. They don't play defense very well. All they can try to do is play fast if that's what they can, if they want. And maybe that screws up Old Dominion a little bit because they tend to like to play slow. But you're looking at an Old Dominion team that's, a top 100 strengths of schedule. It's not like they're playing nobodies either. I think this game number probably gets down to like 8.5 tomorrow before tip. This number made no sense to start with.
Well, you can still get 10.5. It looks like Circa dropped it down to 9.5 now, but there's still 10.5s out there. MGM, DraftKings, there's plenty. Spoon, do you agree? I don't know if you checked this one.
I did not check this one. I do think it's a really big number. Xavier off a couple losses though to Santa Clara and Iowa. They see Georgia next, so maybe there is a little bit of a look ahead, but I don't think they have a chance in that Georgia game. I think Pitino's going to really take this chance to get a big home win here. This is going to be one of the bottom 2 teams in the Big East this year. We look at DePaul, they're laying 20.5 versus a really bad team. So I think this 10.5 is a little short. Maybe it continues to climb down. It's not something I can move on, but I could see Xavier actually covering this number. I just don't trust them to do it.
All right. Let's move on to the next game. Yeah, I don't know anything about Old Dominion.
They're better than Lemoyne, who played Xavier to 6. And Lemoyne's 325 in Ken Palm. Old Dominion's like 220. Yeah. Xavier's terrible. Xavier's so bad.
Princeton, Iona, who picked this game?
I did.
Go ahead, Spoon.
Are you on this too, Toast?
Negative, but it would only be Princeton for me.
So Princeton on the road here. They've been on the road twice this season so far. They went into Akron, got absolutely blown out. They went into Kansas, got blown out as well. They played really well at home versus Bucknell. I think this is a spot here on the road versus an Iona team where in most seasons we would expect Princeton to get the win, but Princeton's roster is really lacking. This is another team that shoots a ton of threes. Will try to push the pace. I don't think that'll be a huge issue for Iona. They're a pretty athletic team. I think they play really good defense. We've seen them play great games versus Hofstra and Fordham. This is a MAAC team that's beating upper conferences right now, and I think they're going to do it again here versus Princeton tomorrow. I think 4 is a short number. I think Iona wins by 10.
Oh, wow. So, Toast, you disagree, but this wasn't one of your picks or anything. You were passed on this game?
Yeah, it's a very slight disagree. For me, I just feel like Princeton likes to play a little bit slower this year, and if they try to slow, it's not anything crazy, but Iona's freaking playing at a crazy ass pace. They had 86 possessions against Kansas City, Missouri. It's just absolutely crazy, but I just don't like. Princeton isn't very talented. I 100% agree with Scoop, but they all have played together a lot, and that kind of that bothers me against an Iona team like this. But again, I don't really have an opinion on it.
A couple questions. Someone said there's another channel. No, Trevor TV Jones has his own channel, and he comes here as a guest and then goes back over there, and he had to host his show tonight, so that's why he couldn't be there. So when I say the other channel, I mean his channel. And Spoon is on the Pub Sports channel too. So yeah, we mix and match here. So yeah, that's what I
shout out Jimmy the Bag and Troy. They do their big NFL card tomorrow. They go through every single game.
Yeah, it's on Tuesday nights. And
Trevor's literally texting me right now.
Isn't he on a show?
That's what I'm saying. He's
there.
like, oh, IU Indy game under 191. I said, no
While
way.
He's
he goes,
live?
Yeah. He's like, bro, last game 90-94, went under by 4 possessions.
Aren't you hosting a show,
so
Trevor? Aren't you hosting?
I love him so much.
Is he just sitting there on the camera like texting? All right. St. Peters, Delaware, local game for me. For those of you that don't know, St. Peters is right here in New Jersey, and Delaware is you can get to UDEL in about 58 minutes with no traffic south.
Which is never.
Yeah, you're never going to. If I drive there at 4 a.m, I can get there in under an hour. How about that? St. Peters, Delaware. Who's game? Toast?
Right here. I took St. Peters +6. I'm debating taking the money line as well. We're looking at a Delaware team that is extremely banged up. They've started the season 3-0 or 0-3. 0-2 versus D1 opponents, 0-1 versus D2 opponents. They lost to Wilmington, Delaware by 9 points. Pretty commanding win. Right now, Delaware is missing 6 players from their rotation, including their best player, their starting point guard. He's been out since the first game of the season. I think this is a really banged up team. Trying to get injury information on who's going to be available 6 days after their last game is very difficult in college basketball. But I do not see them walking out there with all 6 of those players. And I watched the game where their best player got hurt, and I really don't see what the injury was. He came off, started kind of acting slowly on defense. His name's Calvin Riley, and he came off the court. He had some conversations with his coach, and he sat there in a 4-point game in the last 5 minutes of the game, did not move off the bench, and hasn't played a game since. So I don't think he's going to be available tomorrow. I think this Delaware team is really lacking talent at this point in the season, and St.Peters isn't a great team either. They're another MAAC team, not as good as Iona, but they have played fairly well this season. They beat Fairleigh Dickinson. They've seen some really good defenses in Seton Hall and VCU, and Delaware does not have anything close to that defensively to offer. I think St. Peter's just the step down in competition. This is going to be a good spot for them. I see 185 on the money line right now. That's something I'm probably going to sprinkle. Probably won't put a full unit, but a half unit on it.
Wow. So you think St. Peter's is live here at UDel. Toast, any thoughts on this one?
I agree. It would only be St. Peter's for me. I worry about the little bit of a size advantage for Delaware, but we're looking at a game that's should be under 2 possessions, in my opinion. And you have one team in St. Peter's that shoots almost 80% from the free throw line, and a team in Delaware that shoots just over 66% from the line. So if there's any situation with foul shooting and stuff, St. Peter's is going to have a huge advantage. And they also do a really good job of offensive rebounding.
It looks like the 6s are gone. It's mostly 5.5 now. There were 6s though. All right. Next game. Kansas Duke. What are you calling Duke? The ATM? Toast.
It is the ATM. The ATM is open. Unfortunately, it closed shortly after. So I picked this game. I didn't realize it moved 4 points on me. I got Duke at -7.5 when it opened. So
that'll work.
It's like it's like a completely different game here. But Kansas can't score, very much like Michigan State, and they're losing, and they just lost their best scorer in Darian Peterson. That news kind of filtered out through the day, and I think that's what ended up moving this line. But I just want to make one thing clear. Even if that kid played, I still would have played Duke at -7.5 and not worried about it for 1 second. I think that Duke is the best team in college basketball right now, and it's not even really close. But between Boozer and Enigma and Isaiah Evans, it's just what do you do with them? It's 6'9", 6'11", and 6'6". There's nothing. They're not small on any point of the basketball floor. And like I said, Kansas can't shoot. They can barely play defense. Their defense looks decent because they've played really, really bad teams. The only one team that's somewhat decent that they played is North Carolina, and they got absolutely shredded in that game. So especially in the second half. So I think the same thing's going to happen to them today. Like I said, do I love 11? Not nearly as much. It probably end up being a pass at 11, but.
Spoon, any idea, any clue here at 11, or is that number good?
I think this number's starting to get a little overinflated. I think maybe we can get Kansas on the opposite side. I think Toast did a great job getting that number at open. Duke's really only played Texas so far this season. West Carolina, Army, Indiana State don't offer a lot of data points for me as far as how I'm going to use that versus Kansas. And Duke looked great versus Texas to open the season. Kansas on the opposite side has really only played North Carolina. That game was on the road, 74-87 final. Kansas played with them very tough. They were in it in the first half. They were leading the game in the second half. North Carolina came in really hot in the second half and ended up taking the win. But I think that game could have played out a lot differently. They don't blow that 10-point lead there in the second half. And maybe Kansas would be demanding a much shorter number. But this is too early in the season for me to be laying 11 points with Duke and a neutral versus a Bill Self-led Kansas team. I think this is a really big game. I don't see it being a blowout.
All right. 3 games left. Wichita, Boise.
Yeah, let's get it on.
Wichita's a cool program, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I bet Wichita a few times last year.
Probably. You can put them up for me. I don't really understand this price. I had this game at like 6.5, 7. So I did bet Wichita State. Again, this is one of the better, more experienced teams in the country. I know that they're kind of short as far as, but compared to, they're short compared to Boise because Boise is one of the biggest teams in the country. But I just don't think that Boise's that good. I know that everybody had a good laugh when they lost to Hawaii Pacific, and then they came back and throttled Utah Valley and UT Rio Grande Valley and Montana State. But I think that Wichita State is a significant step up in class for them. And yeah, Wichita State's going to have to fly across the country, and they haven't really played anybody either. But for me, it's more of a question is, are these teams kind of equals? And I say yes. And I'm getting almost 3 full possessions, regardless of it being on the road with like I said, an experienced Wichita team that can shoot the ball from 3. Usually Boise likes to slow teams down, and that's can bother some teams, but that's not going to bother Wichita State. They like playing at that pace. So unless Wichita State is just absolutely ice cold and Boise State just gets every rebound, I just have a hard time believing Boise State runs away with this game. So Wichita State plus 9.5 for me.
Is this game at Boise? Let me look.
Yes.
Does the fact that the football team's season just ended Saturday mean anything? They lost to San Diego State and they're done.
Oh, I know. That was a big bet. I bet San Diego State. I said months ago, Boise State was dead. You remember when Trevor was like the best? You're talking about San Diego State, and you're like, he's like the best team, and you're like the best team.
Yeah, San Diego State in college
Yeah.
football. Yeah.
I've been saying Boise State's sports program has been going downhill since then.
Well, I'm wondering if because their football team season just ended, this is their first home basketball game since then. If they'll like be like, okay, guys, it's basketball season now, and the place will be, I don't know. I'll stop talking. What do you think, Spoon?
I think it's a little bit of a short number. Also, kind of a look-ahead spot for Boise State. That whole program is reeling between the football team and the basketball team. That D2 loss to start the season was terrible, but they have USC on deck, and that's a winnable game for Boise State if they play their best game. So that's going to be really important for them that they have that circled, I guess the term would be. I think this is too many points for Wichita.
All right. Both of you guys leaning towards Wichita.
And that USC game's in Hawaii. So they're really looking to head to the beaches.
Ooh, so they're probably going to leave right after this game, head straight
Most
to
likely,
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's bet that.
I'm going to join you on this one, Toast. That's a good one.
Do it.
Yeah, and for kids in Idaho, Hawaii's a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think many of them really grew up in Idaho, but yeah, I get it.
Probably not. I suppose not. I would imagine.
No, but that's okay. Buchanan's from Indiana. You're definitely looking. Fielder's from Idaho. We're good there.
No, they're definitely going to be from the middle of the country, though.
Yeah, everybody.
But still, you're in Idaho for your college years. Yeah. Hawaii is going to be awesome.
I know. My cousin just picked Boise State to go there. Idiot. I'm just saying.
They hire you to be his agent.
No, because he would be going to Pepperdine if it was my choice. What are we doing?
Yeah, the WCC's on the come up. Well, the ceiling's falling, the ground's rising.
I'm just saying, if I'm going to college, I'm going to go to college in Malibu on the beach if I can go to Pepperdine.
I just bet Wichita. Guys, I don't want to brag, but I haven't lost a college basketball bet all year. Just be my
still sitting 1-0?
1-0. Sitting 1-0. I'm not. What was it? Oh, Bonnie's. I took the Bonnies.
Yep.
My second college basketball bet. I'm in. New Orleans. Thank you for the super chat, Arthur. New Orleans is catching 3.5. Speaking of Pepperdine, Toast, I'm assuming you clicked this one.
No, this is a Spoon game. That was just happened to be that. I didn't even know it was next.
All right. Well, Spoon, Pepperdine, New Orleans.
Yeah, we're gonna fade that LA Beach kids tomorrow. I think New Orleans has a really good program coming into this season. We saw it in that opener on the road versus TCU. Really good basketball program over the last 10-15 years, and they walked in there, got a road win to open the season. They played LSU next, and they got blown out pretty much expectedly, but then went on the road again, played Tulane. Now another road game versus Pepperdine. I think this is a spot where New Orleans is the better team. This is the wrong team favored. I get they're on the road. I get it's college basketball, but this Pepperdine program is nothing that's that impressive to me. They have a new coach over the last couple of years. Ed Schilling's been around the game of basketball forever, coached in the 90s. I'm not really in love with this Pepperdine team so far. We saw him play pretty tough versus UCLA, and then just coming off a Northern Colorado game where they went to overtime and lost.
Dude.
I think this is going to be a really tough spot for them versus a New Orleans roster that I think has more talent than them. I think New Orleans wins this outright, but I got the 3.5.
Toast, any thoughts on this one?
No, I'm still pissed off at Pepperdine. They fought back in that game that he was just talking about against Northern Colorado and then lost in overtime by 7 points. It is just absolutely pitiful. So, like he said, they did play Northern Colorado and UCLA, who I think both of those teams are better than New Orleans. I wouldn't lay 3.5. So I guess you could put New Orleans up for me. I will say New Orleans has not only played a strong schedule, TCU, LSU, and Tulane. Tulane's like a top 40 in KenPom, I'm pretty sure. The only thing that bothers me is that I know that this is going to be their third road game in a row when they're going from New Orleans to LSU, which obviously isn't a big trip, then to Tulane, and now out West Coast to Pepperdine for one of two games against Pepperdine and Fresno State. So I worry about the legs in the second half a little bit for New Orleans. That's a lot of travel over the last week and a half or so, but it would only be New Orleans for me.
Also, Stacey Hallowell, the coach for New Orleans, coached half an hour away from Pepperdine at a NAIA school for 10 years, was the coach, voted NAIA Coach of the Year 2022 before he came up for this job. So I think he's got a pretty good scout on this Pepperdine team. This was the closest D1 school to him.
And New Orleans can shoot the lights out. They're almost 40% from deep as a team.
Last game on the board is Troy, San Diego State. Toast?
Yes. I'll be taking the points with Troy here. I know that San Diego State is a very good basketball team. I don't think they're as good as they have been in past seasons. I think they're going to benefit a little bit from a little bit of a down Mountain West this year. Just a personal opinion. They're still a very good basketball team, but they haven't played anybody so far this year. And if I'm already thinking they're not the same type of basketball team as they were the last couple of years, and now you're going to give me almost 17 points here with a Troy team that has played people on the road. And I will give you, it's not the best scheduling spot because they've also here in California, but they flew out to California last week. They played a game on Friday. They played a game on Sunday, and now they're playing a game here on Tuesday. So there's not a whole bunch of travel between Loyola, CSUN, and San Diego State. I mean, we're talking like hours of a bus ride. So, but I have a Troy team that I feel like offensively is should very much keep themselves in this game, regardless of how good this San Diego State defense is. Not to mention the fact that they match up size-wise with San Diego State. San Diego State's another one of those teams that kind of relies on the three ball, and if that's not going down, I think they have a little bit of issues scoring the basketball, and I think that's going to come into play here against Troy, a team that, like I said, matches up well with them. The only thing that really bothers me is that, I mean, it is San Diego State, and they're one of the more experienced teams in the country, especially compared to a team like Troy. But I have this down as like an 11, 12-point game, not 16 or 16 and a half like I was looking at. So you can put Troy up for me. The only reason I'm waiting to bet it is to see if it goes up a little bit because some of these lines have been moving like crazy. So I will be on Troy. I just don't know what the number is going to be.
Spoon, did you have any thoughts on this one? I know this wasn't one of your games.
I think it's kind of a big number. You're going to rely a lot on the brother there, Kobe Campbell, to make some huge shots for Troy to kind of stay in this game because San Diego State's defense is just overwhelming. They're going to be late in the shot clock having to force some bad shots, and Troy's going to have to make those shots to stay in this game. I'm not on this, but I do lean Troy.
Go ahead.
I was just saying the other thing is that I think it's a little bit of a look ahead seriously because San Diego State has the Players Championship up in Las Vegas in the next week or so with Michigan and Oregon and all the other teams on deck. So,
all right. There's Purdue, Fort Wayne going to Utah. What about IU Indy? Did we put any thoughts? Oh, that Trevor likes the under in IU Indy.
Yeah, that's a wild bet.
I was going to say, so
It's like taking an under in Coors.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you're just holding your nose. You don't know what to expect. Yes, their last game went under. It easily could have went over. I mean, you're looking at 80 possessions, 85 possessions at a minimum. And Charleston Southern actually likes to play with a little bit of pace, which Eastern Michigan isn't nearly as fast. So, I mean, and not to mention the fact that Charleston Southern shoots like 35% from deep as a team. So they're going to be jacking up a shit ton of shots from everywhere. It's just, yeah, I want nothing to do with that game personally.
Yeah, that totals 190.5.
It's just
all right. So yeah, someone was asked about Trevor's show. It's called the Pump Fake Pod. They're probably live right now. So everyone, have a good night. Oh, I have a video up where I talk about the action games. There's 3 football games on Tuesday night. So if you want